What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. I got some special guests in the building. Isaiah, what's up? Icy.
Don't hit me with the government. Yeah, there you go. Icy.
Oh,
I
God.
gotta.
Real Brother
can't hit.
32 in the building. What's up?
Yo, what's good, everybody? Real Brother checking in. I was about to do a live stream with my boy Ego. We had this set up all day. I've been waiting for this. I couldn't wait.
I know. Man, you already know what it is. So I want to ask you, brothers, some questions. Let's first real talk about what's going on in the world. What are your thoughts? Black Lives Matter, the movements, the protests, peaceful protests, Karens. You know, there's all types of stuff going on.
It was only a matter of time. And to be honest, I'm happy with it, to be real with you. Like, I'm not even tripping.
Why are you happy?
Because, like, I've been saying, listen, something's going to happen. And it's going to get to the point where people are just not going to take it no more. And something's going to pop off. And it has. And now there's protests all over the world. And now I'm seeing people in LA starting to protest them immigration camps. And I'm glad too.
I've seen it.
Yeah, bro. There's apparently in my town in Texas, there are secret ones here that are not listed on.
There's some that aren't secret maps. In Texas too.
Yeah. But like, well, I don't know. I mean, I hope those people can get it out of there because it's like USA is not like a lot of the reputation that our country upholds, unfortunately, is smoke and mirrors.
I hate this game, bro.
What's your thoughts, real brother?
Well, I have a varied stance on this situation because I was in the military, retired, and law enforcement, federal law enforcement, homeland security. So with everything that's happening right now with the Black Lives Matter movement, I approve of it. I'm happy that it's transpired. I hate that people had to lose their life to get to this point. But see, what's happened is, and I think we touched on this in the last video, the technology's improved, not the crimes. So the crimes have remained consistent for centuries against the people of color in this country, including the Indians and now the Black people and some Mexican folks and whatever. So if you're not white, then you're subjected to certain situations. And it just sucks that people had to pass away in violent fashion in the way that they have in order to make this thing come to light. But change is going to come, but it's going to come at the hands of the millennials, people Icy's age, my son's age. I got a son that's the same age as Icy. So they're actually going to have to pick up the baton and carry it through. Now, as far as the Karens and things like that, I know you're going to get into that, but I just had a situation. I was talking to two of my friends. They're white. We smoked cigars together. And I have been telling them in the last 8 months, I got pulled over 18 times to the point to where I had to go to the captain of where I live in Virginia and tell him, if this doesn't stop, I'm going to have to call my lawyer and file charges because every day, I mean, is it the Tesla? Is it the red color? Is it the neighborhood I live in? Am I not supposed to be here? I'm only one of the only black owners, one male black owners in this neighborhood of where I live. And I'm at the point now, Ego, I'm really just trying to move. I'm trying to be somewhere on the West Coast so I can just chill because I'm a retired guy, man. I'm not trying to have that stress. But 18 times in a 2-month period, not over 8 months, but 2 months, 18 times. So
that's
and if I were in the wrong, I would have gotten a ticket. I would have gotten handcuffed. I would have got something. Something would have happened. But anyway, I support the Black Lives Matter movement. I pray that no other people are injured during this protesting time. But what kills me is the fact that some of these criminals out there, they're joining these movements like they're really down for the cause, but they're not. They just really trying to come up on some quick loot. They trying to get up on some TVs and all that. Those aren't really Black Lives Matter supporters. Those are just people looking for an opportune time to rob someone. So those aren't true. Those aren't true Black Lives Matter protesters. Those are just people trying to come up. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. We got another person joining. Hold on.
I was a real brother. That reminded me of something my dad told me years ago in this house I grew up in. He told me somebody, I think it was the mailman or something, came to drop something off. And he said it was like, no, leave the light on, leave the light on. He said it was like something like off of, you remember the scene in Friday, I think next Friday, where Ice Cube answers the door and the dude is like, is the owner home? My dad said like that exact same situation happened to him. Somebody came to drop something off and the dude was like, yeah, is the owner here? And he was like, yeah, I'm the owner. What you mean? What the hell?
Exactly.
The good thing about everything that's going on, despite the, you know, the turmoil and the lives lost, is the awareness. Like there's a lot of people that I feel didn't want to believe in it. Like they thought people like black people or people of color, minorities, were just making this up. And now you see all these Karen videos and stuff. You can't even deny it. I'm looking. They have like Instagram pages full of Karen videos. It's just like that's all Karens of Instagram or something, and it's just nonstop. Those videos, racial slurs being hurled, you know, like punching people's cars with hammers and hitting people. So
I seen a video or a meme that said, because people act like black people just overreacting to the police. And it was a dude that was like, bro, why? Like, and not overreacting. They said, how come nobody's ever made a song, fuck the fire department, but we
oh, I
got a
seen
song
that
talking
one.
about
Yeah,
fuck the
that's a good
police?
That's
one.
real talk right there, bro.
The
That's
the other
serious.
the other thing that I like is this is kind of a microcosm of like boxing is a microcosm of what's going on in the world. So you
Hell yeah.
seeing these same issues, because I always said on my channel, when it comes to race in the sport of boxing, this sport probably has that the most because it's not a team sport. So some people like that, if they happen to be bigoted or racist, they looking at it as like, oh, a black fighter versus a white guy, a black fighter versus a Mexican fighter, etc. So
Soccer is the only sport I think tops boxing or
yeah, soccer
compares to
is up
boxing.
there for
Yeah.
sure. They
Because
were
I've
throwing
heard
bananas on
from,
the field and shit.
yeah, I've heard some wild shit about
Yeah,
soccer, but
soccer's up there too, but boxing is one of them as well, just because, like I
in the
said, it's not a
States,
team sport.
especially, like boxing is yeah.
Now that leads me into the next question. Deontay Wilder. I think a lot of people are disrespecting him. Me personally, um, I like Wilder in the ring, but I also like the man, the brand, as well. Like what he represents. I feel like he's, you know, a lot of people get that coin term, the next Muhammad Ali. I think Wilder's closer than that than Lomachenko or nothing. What does Lomachenko stand for? Like Muhammad Ali did, you know, standing by his convictions, not refusing to go to war and stuff like that. Bob
I
Arum
just seen
says
a
that
video of Ali.
Lomachenko is the next Muhammad Ali. I think Wilder, he doesn't fight like Muhammad Ali, but the man and the character, I think, is more in line to Muhammad Ali, what he
Loma
represents.
don't fight like him either, to be honest.
Well, yeah, that's
Nigga
true. That's
Lomachenko
true.
don't
Well,
fight like Muhammad Ali.
well,
So I don't even know why he's saying it.
the fact that Lomachenko was coined the next Muhammad Ali by Bob Arum, we all really know what that's about. Okay, he had lost Floyd
Yeah.
Mayweather. He had lost several other prominent boxers that went to other lucrative deals with other boxing promotion companies, and so he was just trying to, I call it the protection, the complexion for the protection.
Facts.
The thing with Lomachenko is he doesn't represent anything when it comes to the United States. He doesn't represent anybody's long-term goals, short-term goals. Deontay Wilder is actually someone you can walk up to and talk to and approach. Now, personally, for myself, I went to that last fight, and it was just a strange situation in Vegas. It was really weird. This was right before COVID took off. This was February 22nd was fight night. I remember it because I was talking to Cursor on the phone through Discord, through our chat app, and if you haven't, drop the link, Ego, so these folks can come join our Discord and talk to us. But we talked that night, and I went to the fight, and it was just the whole, everybody from the PVC side, they seemed like gloom. Like they were like, I won't say they were nervous, but they just seemed like they were really just concerned. It was like something going on in the background that I still to this day don't know what happened. But as far as Deontay Wilder, he's closer to Muhammad Ali in his beliefs, the way he fights, how he treats people, how he talks to his people, how he tries to interact and interject his his intelligence. But a lot of people look at Deontay Wilder and say he's a country bumpkin from Alabama and he doesn't know anything. However, he turns that's a persona. He turns that stuff on like it's a switch. But if you ever just sat back and listened to Deontay Wilder, like when he's in the UK, he speaks very intellectually. He enunciates his words. He doesn't speak ebonically. He just talks, and it's a profound situation when you know he's actually capable of putting words together, and he knows what he's saying. He says what he means, and he means what he says. Anyway, on you, Ego.
Yeah. All right. I seen Anthony Joshua. He was a part of I guess in his hometown, the Black Lives Matter movement or protest or whatnot. And now all of a sudden he's been ridiculed. He's been ridiculed by
Bro, the UK
by
got
UK fans.
I don't know, man. They got something stuck up their ass about this whole thing because Chris Eubank Jr. posted something about that because he's mixed too, whatever. He posted something on his Instagram, just a picture of himself, and it said black and white.
I seen that.
We're all equal. Yeah, it was dope. And then people in the comments tripping like, no, we're not all equal, and some of the shit we weren't all born the same.
I think that's just racist people. Honestly, every time I see when someone said Black Lives Matter, here's why, boom, 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 and then I see people first response is all lives matter, it makes me question where they're coming from if they do have bigoted thoughts and racist thoughts.
Bro, the protests I went to out here, they was chanting all lives matter in the police station, like a few people, and I said, oh shit, they either finna chant over them or they about to get jumped. And people just started chanting over them mad loud, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter.
Damn. It's like, honestly, I feel
I'm glad
like
it stayed peaceful though.
I feel like some of the racists are actually getting jealous and offended that the BLM movement is getting big and gaining traction. You got big company like Amazon and Netflix and Showtime, whether they mean it or not, they put in their play. Like you go to Amazon right now to purchase something, the first thing you see, it says Black Lives Matter. And I feel like some people are almost getting jealous that the movement is picking up steam and they don't like that. So it makes me kind of question where you even coming from if that's your standpoint, because how can you say all lives matter and Black lives would be contained underneath that umbrella, but you don't care about a Black life?
You know what's
so
funny?
Then all lives don't matter to you if one of those encompassing groups are being slaughtered and disproportionate.
And let's be real, it's not just black people either, because they be acting funny towards immigrants. They be acting funny towards any kind of people, to be honest with you. Yeah, bro, they be acting real funny, dog. Like, my position is this. As far as illegal immigration goes, I think illegal immigrants are good for the economy. I think they do more I think
illegal immigrants are great for the country, and at the end of the day, there's work that's being done that other people, like you think Donald Trump or something,
there's stuffy ass, stuck up ass people are not gonna want to do.
Yeah, there's stuff that they bust their eyes and be working hard. That's not something Donald Trump going to get in his hands and knees and start, performing agriculture and cropping.
Dave Chappelle said it best. He was like, Donald Trump want to bring back jobs from overseas. Why? So iPhones can be $10,000? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, Chappelle's
real talk.
Well, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to a situation as far as immigration is concerned in the United States, you got to think about something. You just pointed to it, Ego. You said agriculture. Well, we know in all the western towns in California, that's why all the strawberries, oranges, and things like that are harvested. And, most of the Mexican population there, they're the ones that grow that food, harvest it, and get it to the grocery stores, Trader Joe's, for example. As far as the Black Lives Matter movement, I noticed when I booted up my Call of Duty game the other night, it had this really big, bold black sticker come up, and it said Black Lives Matter. And it said, we are going to prominently continue to promote Black Lives Matter here in the Call of Duty community. We respect our players and our graphic designers and everybody. They listed everybody who was pretty much, a person of color, and how they were going to support this movement for change, for positive change. Now, America is in the throes of a takeover right now. because everything in America, Ego, as you already know, it's like a news cycle. It happens in cycles. So now so many people have been killed, and there's so much video evidence out there that these police unions aren't able to get these folks off anymore. So imagine this, we're taxpayers, right? So every time a cop kills somebody in America, guess what happens? Taxpayers end up paying that person's settlement to the family so that the cop can get off, right? Now,
Yeah, I see that.
they need to remove the legal rights that the cops have as far as being able to shoot somebody. Because what happens is a cop, and when he's on duty, he's acting as judge and jury. And he has certain circumstances which allow him to take somebody's life like that. So it's called, so if a cop says, I felt threatened for my life, or he grabbed for something, or I thought he had something in his hands, they've always had the presumptive court of law on their side. Now, if you remove that rule and that law, then that'll take that veil back to where people can be, so they'll know, hey, if I shoot this guy, I'm going to jail. So right now, there's nothing in their mindset to say, if I kill this person, I'm going to jail. They don't have that mentality.
Fact.
They have that short man mentality.
Sierra, what's up?
What's up, Sierra?
Hey, flip your
How you
phone
doing,
to
Sierra?
the landscape.
To the what?
Sideways. Landscape.
Sideways view, yeah. Nah, a real brother, I agree with you
Flip it
100%,
from
bro.
vertical.
Like,
Hold on,
I've heard.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
There you
okay.
go.
There you
Cool.
go.
You good, Icy.
Ego just thinks it's cool to interrupt me and shit. Nah. Real brother, I was gonna say, I agree with you, bro. Too many people don't, like, for whatever reason, they think not holding cops to a certain standard is just, it should be just like I feel like as a police officer, you should be held above citizens as far as standards go
Yeah,
and
because you
stuff
took
like
an
that.
oath.
Yeah, like if I work in a restaurant, customers in LA, especially in Santa Monica, piss me off all the time, bro. Like constantly. But now if I knock that motherfucker out, I get fired. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. But police officers can just, take physical force against you because you cursing them out and all this other shit, apparently. And then they'll call it disturbing the peace and stupid shit like that.
So I see,
Facts.
when I was in the
Hey,
military and they had me overseas, they had this thing called rules of engagement. So we had specific rules of engagement when we were dealing with people, like when I was in Somalia. All right. So when you're in a specific portion of the world, there are no regular laws like in the US, but you do have rules of engagement under the Geneva Convention. Okay. If cops here in the United States had those same rules of engagement, they would know they couldn't break certain laws. On you, Ego.
Sierra, do you have anything to
Well-
add? We're just talking about the craziness in the world, the protests and things like that. What have you seen
Right.
on
It's
your side?
definitely bullshit. Cops definitely think that they can just pretty much do whatever they want because they're a police officer and shit. If there's definitely more consequences and stuff, because you're a police officer, you get away with murder because you have a badge. It's bullshit for sure. And it pisses me off because people don't actually understand Black Lives Matter. They want to say all lives matter and shit. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like I had said before, like when Trump first became president and whatnot, I made my own sign and was standing out in front of the highway when it first happened, like a few years ago, with a sign that said Black Lives Matter. If that offends you, then you're part of the problem, because it's those people that probably, elected Trump as president and shit, and the people, it's those people who will vote for Trump to be president again. And, like your live stream, when you had read all houses matter, but my house is on fire and yours isn't. That was like a really good analogy too. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to worry about going outside and getting shot and everything because I'm white. Black people have to worry every time they step foot outside of their own house and shit. You know what I mean? So that's where people don't understand Black Lives Matter.
Facts. Now, what do you guys think about Anthony Joshua? Again, he was part of the protests in the UK, and it's like the UK are angry at him. Like all of his people who were supposed to be fans there's people saying they'll never buy his pay-per-views anymore.
I watched that on
Kinda
Twitter.
turning on him.
Oh, I'm not feeling that. There was like.
Go ahead, Sierra.
Oh, no, that was my son talking to me about the movie.
So I watched that on Twitter, Ego. I saw the back and forth from a lot of his fans. They were talking about, I'm not going to buy your pay-per-views anymore. I'm not going to support you. I was really digging you. I thought you was a good guy. So basically, Anthony Joshua came out and went to a Black Lives Matter movement. He had the megaphone because we saw him on crutches and the knee brace on. I thought he fell down the steps or something. But basically, all his fans had said they were done messing with him because he he basically tried to say, I'm black too, and you guys need to change the way y'all treat us over here in the UK. I don't know, how that really works in the UK, but I know anywhere there's a person of color, they have had their run-ins with the law. So,
but that's the thing. Discrimination, that's why like the UK, they have like a stick up their ass about this thing, because the discrimination in the UK is like almost socially acceptable, like, because gypsies are a pretty big ethnic group over there, and if you see any fight with like a gypsy fight or anything, just go to YouTube and look at the comments, and they're talking about pikey this and pikey that, and I'm like, that's not a real like acceptable term, or they're making stupid ass comments. So then and gypsies, listen, you could say whatever, they're not the same as white people, they resemble white people. So damn well if they're talking about them like that, that the racial politics that goes over there as far as other races is not all, it's not all, what's the word I'm looking for, it's not cool like they try to make you believe. I'm saying, like, for whatever reason, countries outside of America will try to trick you and make you think that America is the only country with racial politics.
This is a worldwide issue for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
definitely is worldwide.
Hey, you know what I noticed about like racists and bigots? A lot of times they threaten, especially black athletes or black fighters or whatever, they threaten to turn their back on you and not support you. And some of the racist ones like that, they weren't even supporting you to begin with. It's like an empty threat. They'll say, "Oh, I'm never buying your Wilder." Here's an example. Devin Haney, he recently had that comment where he said he'll never lose to a white boy or a white person. And I've seen a ton of comments, some of which from people who always talk bad about Devin Haney. And they're saying, "Oh, now because you said that, I ain't going to support you." But you weren't supporting him anyway. That's what I'm saying. You didn't support him before he said that comment, but they use it like, "Hey, I'm not buying your pay-per-view. I was a fan." Like they use it almost as an empty threat. But a lot of them in the comment section were going against him anyway and saying, Lomachenko will whoop him and this, that, and the third. So it's funny to me how that works.
Yeah.
It definitely is everywhere. And like there's this one time me and Cursor are at the lake and shit, right? It's nighttime. We're just sitting up at the lake, it's beautiful. Why this white officer comes up to me and him and asks us what we're doing. We're not doing anything. We don't have alcohol on us, nothing. We're just literally sitting there, just me and him ourselves. And the lake is surrounded by people. Then why come up to me and him? Why didn't you go up to anybody else and make them leave? Because after he made us leave, he left. Shit like that.
What state are you in?
Another time I'm at a restaurant, Ohio.
Okay. What happened at the restaurant?
And then another time I'm at what?
I said, what happened at the restaurant?
It was actually an older black lady spit in my face.
What?
Yeah, because she didn't like seeing an interracial couple.
Oh wow!
So I've had hate on both sides for real.
Damn. Yeah, man, we need to all get along and get past this. I think the timing is crazy too because we're coming from the pandemic situation,
right?
Directly in this, like people lost jobs, furloughed, things like that, and then we're going into racial tension situations, and then you have a president
at the lake. When I was at the lake with Cursor, the cop was going to pull his gun out, and I stood in front of him and gave the officer that look like, If you do anything fucking crazy, you gotta shoot me first before you get to him. And explain that shit then. Explain shooting the white person first.
Exactly.
Damn.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, we're gonna see how it all plays out. You know, this year's been kind of heavy. A lot of stuff going on. I do want to switch gears real quick. I told you I wasn't going to keep you guys long, but I want to make sure I talk about this.
Okay, go ahead.
Jamal Charlo. He just posted a picture. He's in shape. He said he might go up to 168. What's his future at 168?
Canelo gonna duck him. Canelo gonna jump to 180. Then he don't want to fight him. He's gonna go to heavyweight. Canelo gonna jump to heavyweight.
What? You say
Canelo gonna jump to heavyweight to get away from Charlo, bro.
Oh,
he running, man.
So what? Say, explain that again.
Okay, so listen. Here's my theory behind the move to 168. Canelo's been fluctuating between that 10 to 15 pound range for his last 3 or 4 fights. Ego. I'm saying Charlo is moving up to go ahead and be that shark in the water. He ready to eat. Or he's at the deep end of the pool and Charlo couldn't get to him.
Hey, hold on. Somebody's phone.
Okay.
If you're not speaking, put your phone on mute real quick. All right, go.
Okay. So what I'm saying is he is going to the point of where he needs to be to try to get Canelo to actively engage him in a real fight. So he's moving up to 168 to stake his claim. So is Canelo going to vacate or is he going to fight? That's the point. That's why he's doing this.
I see. I need to hear from you. You from Houston. Canelo.
You already know what I'm gonna say.
Charlo, do you want to see it?
Listen.
Do you want to see?
Hell yeah, I want to see it.
Why?
Listen, I've saw.
Hold on. Before you get in, because I know you're about to go in. Why do fans act like they don't want to see Charlo versus Canelo? I think that's like a crazy fight that does crazy numbers.
Here's why, especially because. Well, here's why, in my opinion. Number one is the main reason is insecurity, and two. The second reason, in my opinion, is they feed into smoke and mirrors. These niggas don't watch boxing like they claim. Charlo has, especially because, and I'm from the Houston area, but I'm not just saying this because of that. I'm going to always support the Charlo brothers, win or lose, regardless. You know what I'm saying? As far as boxing goes, they're cool outside of boxing, which is great, but I'm saying, don't get me wrong. If they was like some assholes and shit, that'd be different. But I like them. For the sport, I think they're good people. I'm going to always support the Charlo brothers, point blank. Win or lose, whatever. I don't give a damn. The point that people need to understand is Jamal Charlo especially has a lot of underrated skills. They do not get the attention that they deserve. A lot of people talk about Jamal's jab, which is one of the best jabs in boxing right now, if not the best. But Jamal is also an extremely underrated counterpuncher. Something I noticed about him is a lot of Jamal's most recent knockouts or knockdowns when he's hurt his opponents have come from exchanges. And Canelo recently, I don't know what the hell, somebody mentioned this. I can't remember who it was on the last Zoom call we did. But someone recently mentioned that Canelo's fighting style has been weird lately. Like, he's been just throwing like a lot of like haymaker ass punches. It seems like I don't know if I'm tripping, but
no, it's not you tripping. You know what it is.
I think his knees are hurt.
I know a lot of fighters and stuff could like Floyd. We'll use Floyd. Everybody knows Floyd Mayweather. Floyd had to adjust his style over the years because he had brittle hands. He was getting older, brittle hands. He was having hand issues. So he conserved his punches, got more surgical and even higher accuracy. Not as offensive. So he's had to make that adjustment. Canelo, you see him with the knee brace and stuff like that. He's young, but he's also kind of an old fighter based on the style of coming up in Mexico. He started pro when he was 15. And he's 30 now.
Yeah, he's a professional boxer. So he's been a professional for
that's
long as hell.
Yeah, he's been a professional for as long as that's like almost as long as Floyd, damn near. But obviously he's not fighting the same echelon of competition early on. You see what I'm saying? So he has a lot of miles and training camps and road work and wear and tear on his body. So I think that's why he's changing it. And the other thing you have to factor in, he's done weight jumps. He's not the tallest at 160, 168, 175. So he has to kind of tailor his style, and he has stamina issues. So all these things play into what you're
That's
saying.
what I'm saying. All these weight jumps is not necessary. This motherfucker is 5'9". The average height of a man in America is 5'10". So as a Mexican fighter, just as a Mexican in general, you're all because Mexican people, no Bush or anything like that, but they're not known for their height necessarily. So being 5'9", 5'10", he's already above average as far as his country standards go, right? Because 5'9" is like regular height over here. Do you know how much credit this motherfucker would get if he just beat everybody at 160 and just was undisputed? Like, seriously, if he beat, because what happened? He had beat Triple G in the second fight, in my opinion, definitively. He beat Triple G.
Right.
And then went on to fight Jacobs. And then all the bullshit with the belt started happening. You know how much credit he would have gotten, like, had he beat fucking Andrade right after that, and then defended his title against Charlo, and then just, I guess chilled for like a second at 160. Like,
Man,
I would have gave
I need to know from all you. I need to know from all y'all. I need to know from all y'all right now. Does Charlo get washed by Canelo, like where he just get dogged?
Hell no.
Hell
because
no.
that's what see
No.
the fans, the Canelo fans, the man fans, not just regular Canelo, the man fans, the ones that be dyeing their hair red and trying to talk and dress and look like him and co-sign everything he do. They're acting like Charlo will get bodied by Canelo. And when I look at the fight, I think either guy, technically could win. I'm not gonna slight Canelo like that and say he has no chance or nothing like that. But I don't in any shape I think Canelo's gonna be in a real fight, and I do not see him getting washing Charlo. Like I'm seeing like Charlo get knocked out in the first 2 rounds. I'm like, what? I don't see that. So I want to know from y'all.
No.
Is it a competitive fight?
I think it's a 50-50 fight, Ego. I actually think Canelo is hiding something with his knees. I really believe that his age has caught up to him a little bit when it comes to his knees. I had 2 total knee replacements. I think he got arthritis on his knee. So he wears a brace all the time. So you can tell when he gets into those fights, like with his last Triple G fight, he looked like he was laboring really badly. He was dragging his leg almost. I think he has it's contributed to the fact that he might not be doing as much road work as he used to do. Yeah. So I really believe Charlo is like a threat to the kingdom of Canelo. Like if he gives that boy a fight, it's a done deal. I believe Canelo is going to lose that fight, and it's a wash. So the WBC and these franchise belt holders, they've been protecting these people, giving out these licensed belts. Like here's a franchise belt for you. You get a belt. You get a belt. They are doing this to systematically stop people from having to have to fight the next best person in their weight class. And I think it's time for Canelo to step up and fight Charlo. I really like Canelo as a boxer, but I think he's afraid to lose to another black fighter too, because Floyd whipped him so bad, and people are not giving Floyd the credit he deserves for how he taught a master class in that boxing match with Canelo. I mean, Canelo was whiffing punches. That's how bad it was. It was a master class taught by a master boxer that gave that boy a lesson. I think Canelo should give him an opportunity. Charlo should get the opportunity to fight.
Man, Charlo, I think Charlo will beat Canelo's ass. I'm not even like playing. I'm so for real, bro. Like, I mean, I think it'll be competitive for the first half, but after his gas tank run out and Canelo turned into a damn, just a huffing and puffing mess like he has in some of his more recent fights, I think Charlo will beat his ass. Like, seriously.
I'm glad you said that, just based on the fact that I have 2 questions for the people in the comment section who always act like Charlo has no chance and Andre will get washed. Charlo particularly, well, we know he's taller and bigger than Canelo. When have you seen Charlo hurt? Can you think of one fight where he was just like, oh man, it's getting bad for him, he's on his way out? And when have you seen Charlo like not in shape and struggle in the second half of the fight, like winded, where his stamina looked bad? Can you guys?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Has that happened?
Jamal, I've heard. Nah, that's the thing. Jamal has, as far as I've heard. Now,
Has it
He
happened?
walks around from anywhere from like 170 to 180, and he's never looked out of shape.
He always
So
in shape.
That's what I'm saying.
like I can't even
He got a
tell.
gas tank. Both of the Charlos got a look at Jamil when I was at the Tony Harrison 2 fight, and he
Me
started
too.
he hit Tony Harrison with like Street Fighter uppercuts.
Bro, he was wilding
Yeah,
was wilding the
bro,
whole
he had
fight.
all that energy and he finished Charlo like crazy. And then look at Jamal too. He Brandon Adams, he was able to sustain his workload. He hurt what's his name? Matt Korobov in the 12th round. He hurt him in the 12th round. So
People are goofy
he
as
has
hell.
late
They say the
prowess.
Adams fight was disappointing when he won every fucking round and he injured his hand in the second round and
And
still won
Adams
every
was,
round.
in my opinion, Adams knew kind of he bit off more than he chewed. He wasn't taking no real risk. He was like content, like survival mode. You see what
He
I'm saying?
was in survival mode.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
noticed
was at
that. Right.
the
Even my dad, like my stepdad, he's not like a big boxing fan, but in the first few rounds, he was like, "What the hell is this Adam guy doing? He's not." I like Brandon, but it took him a while to kind of get in his groove and shit and like settle down.
Yeah, I think he felt like to be honest, I think Brandon Adams is a better 154 pounder. 160 is out of his dimension with a big guy like Charlo. So, okay, last question about that. David Benavidez and Canelo. See, my thing is this when it comes to Canelo. I do like Canelo. I think Canelo's a good fighter. He's mature. He's professional. His style is nice, combination punches. But when I hear Canelo and his team say stuff like, we don't want to fight a Mexican fighter, we don't want to fight someone that reps the same flag as us, to me, that sounds crazy because throughout the history of boxing, I don't think you could pick and choose. Imagine if Wilder said he don't want to fight Anthony Joshua.
When it comes to boxing, you shouldn't be able to pick and choose who you fight. It should the best fight the best.
Exactly. And
period.
And the other thing that's crazy is Canelo wants to fight on the proverbial Mexican-American dates like May, Cinco de Mayo, and September. Why would you not want to fight a Mexican-American and you're from Mexico on the Mexican date in an action fight? David Benavidez.
Right.
And let's be real. This is all I got to say. David is only half Mexican, apparently. I think he's like half Ecuadorian or some shit like that, him and his brother.
He can scrap, though.
They better start repping that flag. Real talk. Then the Canelo really won't have no excuses.
Man, I think David Benavidez and Canelo is a hell of a fight. And it's
I think
crazy.
He'll beat Canelo ass.
It's crazy that, you don't see the alleged diehard Canelo fan. I come from the old school, bro. My favorite fighter was Roy Jones Jr. I didn't care who he was fighting. I was picking Roy. Win, lose, or draw, I'm messing with Roy. But you see a lot of new fans of the sport, and they're so attached to these fighters, maybe the social media era, where they don't really have the confidence in their fighter that they say. If you really think Canelo's the nicest, why wouldn't you want to see him fight Benavidez? Why wouldn't he fight Caleb Plant? Better be if he wants to go to 75. Charlo, Andre. That's first the best, like Sierra just said.
David Lemieux has lost 4 times, and I'm still a fan of David Lemieux. That hasn't changed my opinion.
He got cracks, though. Yeah.
Yeah. He's an entertaining fighter. He's lost 4 times. 2 of them I've witnessed live. So, the Triple G and the Billy Joe Saunders one, which was a really bad loss, but I'm still a fan of David Lemieux. Like, you're not going to tell me not to watch.
He lost
David
more than
Lemieux.
2 times, though. But
no, but I'm saying the 2 of them I've witnessed. The other 2 losses,
you were at
like
the Billy
witnessed
Joe
live.
Saunders
I'm
fight?
saying. No. Just like I've watched them when they were happening.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Is what I'm saying.
All right, I told you I wasn't going to take y'all too much of y'all time. Last question: Teofimo, Lopez. I like the kid. Lomachenko, skilled fighter, 2-time gold medalist. Who wins?
Teo.
Oh man, Lomachenko. I don't want to speak on that.
Why?
I don't like Lomachenko.
Oh, I got you.
I think Teofimo will win. Loma has not dealt with the kind of power that – because Andre Rozier low-key tried to play Teofimo when he was like, he's not the power puncher that I think that people say he is. And I'm like, I wouldn't say that. I would just say Teofimo style. Teofimo style doesn't – like some fighters have deceiving power, but it's not because – like in my opinion, you're not going to tell me that Andre, Caleb Plant, and Teofimo don't have power because they're all outboxers. Their styles don't necessarily cater to getting the knockout. But as you can see, from some of their fights, if they go on the offensive, they can all like knock you out, hurt you. It just depends on when they
You
catch
going
you.
over people's head, Icy. They don't know because they don't understand shit about boxing.
Yeah, they don't get it.
Say
That's what I'm saying. Like
it again.
Caleb Plant.
Say it again for the people in the back. The outboxer.
There's the outboxers with power. These three guys, I'm gonna name again. Demetrius Andrade, Caleb Plant, and Teofimo Lopez. First of all, Caleb Plant situation, like I've heard people say Caleb Plant don't have no power. That doesn't make any sense. He won his first 10 fights. Like his first 10 fights, 9 of them he won by a knockout. So that's stupid. But the reason why these guys say they don't have no power is because they're natural outboxers and they look flashy, whatever. Their styles do not necessarily cater to getting the knockout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's a stupid reason.
That want to see like UFC style people who stand up and just wing it and throw punches, you know what I'm saying? Or brawlers that are just swinging.
Oh, we're gonna forget what Teofimo did to yeah, but like I was saying, like people I've heard say Teofimo don't have no power. Even
but
Andre
they did the same thing to
But are we
Andre
gonna forget?
They did the same thing to Ward. They say he
Man,
but
couldn't pay me to get hit by Andre Ward, bro.
Well, Kovalev's a power puncher and he got stopped.
And yeah, you couldn't pay me to get hit by Andre Ward, bro.
Bro, he got power. I heard. They did it to Floyd too. They said Floyd he pillow fisted, but he doing something to make you respect it. Because why don't you just run in? Why didn't Maidana just rush him like he did Broner in the second fight? Okay, you already had 12 rounds with the man. Why didn't Maidana rush Floyd? Because he taming your ass.
Yeah, there's something that's touching you that you don't like. But as we saw with Teofimo, like, how do y'all forget what he did to Jesse Magdaleno? Like, that was disrespectful. Like, that knockout was crazy how he knocked Magdaleno out.
That wasn't Jesse. That was the other Mag. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It was Magdaleno, but
was it?
It's
I'm tripping. Yeah, you're right.
It's not Jesse.
Yeah, you're right. I'm losing my mind.
No, but it's
one of the Magdaleno. Yeah.
Bro, I like knocking people out and flipping over their bodies and dancing Fortnite. He's crazy.
Made Comey do the stanky leg. Yeah, no,
yeah.
I'm not. No. And so the fact that people are just like, oh, go ahead.
I was just trying to let Icy get his time in, because Icy, once he get on one of them roads, you gotta let him talk, bro.
Yeah, I see.
But personally, though, I believe that Teofimo Lopez would give Lomachenko a really good fight. I got it as a 50-50 fight right now, but Teofimo is not to be played with, man. I really respect his power. I think Lomo's ducking him right now and hoping that COVID-19 goes on so he don't have to fight this kid. But that's one of those fights I'm looking forward to. The reason Maidana didn't rush Floyd Mayweather is because after Floyd figured him out after the 4th round of the first fight, he started touching him, and he was touching him with that Mayweather punch to the stomach. He was cracking him with that check left hook. He earned that respect. And even to this day, I believe that Floyd, had he not hurt his hands early on in his career, his knockout percentage would probably been higher than what it is right now. And he was still
for sure
at heavier weights. But yeah, Ego, I like this talk, man. This conversation we've had tonight in reference to all these questions you asked, man. They just been on point. I appreciate you for inviting me into the stream, man.
Yeah, no problem. I told you I was.
See, I don't like Lomo because I feel like he cheated in the Regendow fight, and I feel like maybe they paid him off to lose, because the way he fought, the way Regendow fought, he didn't. You know what I mean? He definitely had a lot more oomph in all his other fights, and it's like that fight he went trying to like fight back and shit. So it's like, did he get paid off and whatnot? I don't know, but
we're losing you on the audio.
She muted herself.
Oh, that's what it is. Well, my thing with Lomachenko is this. I think Lomachenko got skill, but I think Lomachenko was cleverly matched too. Like, why didn't Loma ever fight Mikey Garcia? That would have been a banger. and Mikey was
Yeah, what
down.
the hell? How are y'all excited about Lomachenko calling out Mikey after he lost to Errol? How? How are y'all
But
excited
see,
about that?
even deeper than that is like Mikey went up to 47. We don't even know if he can make 35 comfortably anyway. So it's like me, I feel like it's been clever matchmaking. Like Nicholas Walters was coming off a draw and a year plus layoff. That matters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's the Axeman with power, but he's also gained a lot of weight in his offseason. So you got to factor in these little things. So I've seen Top Rank kind of do that with the matchmaking. It looks better on paper, but then if you look at the actual details, it's more than meets the eye if you know boxing. And Lomachenko versus Teofimo, I think this is the first time where he's fighting a kid with that his age group, power in both hands, not a mindless brawler, but got power in both hands and can box too, has experience, amateur and pro, and got that type of momentum and confidence. Like his dad be doing the trash talking. Teofimo got the pizzazz and the dancing and Fortnites and flips. Who has Lomachenko fought similar to that?
Nobody.
Because even Linares is a great boxer, but he's always showed a propensity to struggle when confronted, you know, like break down mentally. Antonio DeMarco fights, stuff like that. You know, he was even in a tough fight with Luke Campbell. He knocked him down, but then he didn't really do much in the second half of the fight. I think Teofimo's thoroughbred. He's bigger than Loma. And I just think Lomachenko, people are looking like Teo ain't never fought no one like Loma. Loma, as a
Loma's
pro,
never fought
ain't
anyone
fought no
like
one like
Timo.
Teo. And if he has,
Yeah,
tell me.
Teofimo's big. He's not just big. He's big as hell.
Teofimo was 19 sparring with Ugas and getting working. You know what I'm saying? Like Ugas, I rate him. He's a for sure top 8, top 10 welterweight right now. Teofimo, I don't know how much he was weighing in the video, but he was only 19, holding his own with Ugas, who was a welterweight and big. Ugas look way bigger than Sean Porter.
Ugas might be bigger than Errol, to be honest.
He actually might.
In real talk, if I'm remembering correctly, I think Ugas might be bigger than Errol. I gotta see them side by side, but I don't feel like I'm sure because I've seen Ugas in person, like up close. But I saw Errol up in person too, but not like close enough to like so I can like really gauge it. But
Yeah,
Ugas is not
it's
a small
close
dude.
for sure. Anyway, I told you I wasn't going to keep all y'all time because it's a late. I know I'm keeping you guys up past your bedtime. Any closing statements from each of you guys? Appreciate you for joining the Egos Army chat.
Ego said if I didn't do this, he was going to block me from the stream. So he made me.
I might still block you. I'm still going to block you. Any other closing thoughts?
Go ahead, Sierra.
Let's go.
I couldn't figure out how to do it, but I figured it out this time.
Oh.
It was fun, and definitely, yeah, we need to see more fights that are matched better and whatnot to make boxing exciting again and shit. You know what I mean? Best fight the best. Let's get better matches and shit. You know, instead of people ducking and cherry picking and all this stuff to where, you know, it's still exciting, but it's not as exciting as it used to be or could be.
Thank you. Real brother, take us home.
So you touched on so many different things tonight, Ego, with the Black Lives Matter movement, to the racism in boxing, to where we are right now as a sport. I think that the Black Lives Matter movement will continue on, and hopefully there are not so many deaths in the response to that from the police, and hopefully we can get through this process as a nation, as a world. With the
Amen.
Yes, ma'am. With the next boxing matches that are coming up, I would really like to harp on what Sierra just said, and the best fight the best. I'm looking forward to the Fury Wilder rematch or trilogy fight. And, you know, it's going to be, I think, whoever wins that fight is going to be the world champion for a long time. Ego, I appreciate you for having us in this stream, man. It was all love. I appreciate it. Even though it's 5 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, we here, baby. We work.
Man, we'll do another one, but earlier and more planned. Appreciate all of you guys, Real Brother, Sierra, Icy. Hopefully you guys enjoy show some love in the comment section to these guys. They stayed up late for you to talk these. This is how you know Ego's Army, we're a real community, and we really care about, you know, just growing this sport. So appreciate your time. We'll have to do it again. Everybody have a good night.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Hello, my G's. We out.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.